Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is in the Spanish city of Granada. He's there to attend a forum to discuss cooperation for Ukraine. The European leaders' gathering is expected to assure Zelensky of long-term support. This is especially after America dropped aid for Ukraine in its most recent spending bill. Canada's Foreign Minister Melanie Joly has said that Ottawa is seeking private talks with India. This is to resolve the ongoing diplomatic standoff between the two countries. Joly said, and I quote, "Diplomatic conversations are best when they remain private." Last month, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly accused Indian agents of being involved in the murder of pro-Khalistan separatist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. US Republican lawmaker Jim Jordan has launched a run for the position of the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Jordan will likely contest with Steve Scalise. The election for Speaker is likely to take place on the 11th of October. This comes after a historic vote that ousted Kevin McCarthy from the position on Tuesday. US President Joe Biden has said that his administration has approved an additional $9 billion in student debt relief. This will impact about 125,000 borrowers. Biden says this brings the total approved debt cancellation to $127 billion. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and other US officials are visiting Mexico. This is to discuss issues like arms trafficking and increasing migration. The Biden administration has come under increasing pressure from Republicans as well as Democrats for not doing enough to slow migrant arrivals. Azerbaijan's security forces have released new footage. It shows them arresting the former self-styled president of Nagorno-Karabakh region, Araik Harutyunan. According to the security services, Harutyunan was arrested on Tuesday. He was charged with unleashing a war of aggression and terrorism. This comes after Azerbaijan captured the disputed region of Nagorno-Karabakh in a military operation last month. A 16-year-old girl in Tehran is in critical condition after she fell into a coma on Sunday. That was following a confrontation with agents in the metro for violating Iran's hijab law. Footage shows Armita Gerivan without the mandatory hijab. Her case is raising concerns she may meet the same fate as Mahsa Amini. In 2022, Amini was arrested for not wearing the hijab. She later died under suspicious circumstances. Thai police have arrested 4 men. This is over the suspicion of selling modified firearms to a 14-year-old. Yesterday, the teenager opened fire in a luxury mall in Bangkok, killing 3 people. In Thailand, firearm ownership rules are strict, but they can be modified and obtained illegally. The British government is proposing a ban on younger generations from buying cigarettes. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is proposing to raise the smoking age by 1 year every year. Such a ban could potentially phase out cigarettes for young people completely by the year 2040. This would also give Britain one of the toughest smoking laws in the world. Norwegian author and dramatist Jon Fosse has won the 2023 Nobel Prize in Literature. The 64-year-old author has published more than 24 plays, novels, essays, and poetries over a period of 4 decades. The Nobel Prize is awarded by the Swedish Academy. It is worth 11 million Swedish crowns or $1 million. In climate news, Typhoon Koinu has reached the southern tip of Taiwan. The island's east coast counties are facing heavy rains. Most schools and offices have been shut too. Koinu made a landfall in Taiwan as a Category 4 typhoon. About 190 people have been injured. but no casualties have been recorded. The typhoon is likely to weaken as it crosses the Taiwan Strait. Tropical storm Philip has travelled northwest across the Caribbean. Strong winds and heavy rains are expected over the island of Anguilla. Storm Philip made landfall on a group of islands in the Caribbean Sea. Schools have been shut and the area's water supply has been affected. Some 2,500 households were left without power as well. At least 14 people have been killed and 102 have gone missing after flash floods hit the Indian state of Sikkim. Water began rising after the Teesta River got swollen. Several vehicles were also submerged. Rains and thunderstorms are hampering the search and rescue operations. Aerial and drone footage from Brazil shows the extent of devastation caused by a drought that has hit the northern Amazonas region. Rivers in the Amazon have been affected by severe drought too. Over 100,000 people who depend on fishing as their major source of sustenance are struggling. Brazil's Civil Defense Agency has warned that the drought could eventually impact up to 500,000 people in the Amazon. The US National Weather Service has officially declared that the city of Phoenix in Arizona experienced the driest year on record. The city recorded its lowest rainfall ever since 1895. A lead meteorologist at the US National Weather Service has said, and I quote, "It is something that is extreme and has not been seen before. But with climate change, the phenomenon could become more frequent." Protesters from the group Just Stop Oil disrupted a performance of Les Miserables in London. During the performance, Just Stop Oil members stormed the stage with banners. The activists reportedly locked themselves to the stage. 5 protesters have been arrested, and activists affiliated with Just Stop Oil have been resorting to disrupting events to demand climate action. Japan is all set to discharge the second batch of treated wastewater from the Fukushima nuclear power plant into the ocean. This comes after Russia said that Japan has failed to provide full information on the water discharge despite repeated requests from Moscow and Beijing. Japan started releasing the treated wastewater in the month of August. The step drew intense criticism from China. In retaliation, Beijing imposed a blanket ban on all seafood imports from Japan. Pope Francis has called upon rich countries to make profound changes to help tackle the global climate crisis. He defended climate protesters and urged governments participating in the upcoming COP28 climate summit to make it a turning point. Pope Francis advocated for a decisive acceleration of energy transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy. He said without decisive action, the world would face the point of no return. A new study shows that people are more likely to die from heart and lung diseases about 3 to 6 weeks after a natural disaster. This is likely because of reduced access to health services. The aftermath of a calamity also increases exposure to several pathogens. The study highlighted that floods make up 43% of all extreme disaster events and are likely to become more severe. Student researchers in Germany have developed a prototype of a pedal-powered submarine. They tested it off Spain's Canary Islands. The submarine aims to help in the conservation of marine life. The submarine will participate in a competition next year, which will aim to foster research in marine preservation. On to business and tech news. Financial firm Barclays has reportedly started laying off people this week. It will eliminate 3% of its global investment banking workforce. Overall, up to 300 Barclays employees may lose their positions in the job cuts. Australian financial firm Westpac says it has cancelled the sale of its Fiji and Papua New Guinea businesses. This ends its years-long effort to divest those businesses. The bank has been trying to leave the Pacific for years but has been unable to do so because of regulatory concerns. Instead, Westpac will now start a new brand campaign in the coming months. This is to improve its standing in Fiji and Papua New Guinea. Share prices of the Scandinavian airline SAS tumbled 95% on Wednesday. This was after it announced new restructuring plans. Under the new plans, the airline will be delisted from bourses. SAS also said that US investment firm Castle Lake and Air France KLM would become new major shareholders in the airline. This comes after SAS filed for bankruptcy protection in the US last year. Donut maker Krispy Kreme is exploring strategic options for its Insomnia Cookies unit. The options include a potential sale. Insomnia Cookies operates in 3 countries with over 250 bakeries. In 2018, Krispy Kreme acquired a majority stake in the cookie company. About 75,000 workers at US healthcare giant Kaiser Permanente have started a 3-day strike. The workers have accused the company of failing to address staffing shortages. They say this has left medics overworked and underpaid. This marks the largest ever strike in the American healthcare sector. Reports say Apple had once considered changing its default search engine from Google to DuckDuckGo for its Safari browser. The details of the talks are expected to be released later this week. This is a part of a testimony against Google as it faces an antitrust trial in the US. Google has been accused of abusing its dominant position in the market. The tech giant allegedly paid $10 billion annually to Apple and other smartphone makers. That was to make Google the default search engine on their devices. Canadian technology company BlackBerry has said it would separate its Internet of Things or IoT and cybersecurity businesses. It will also target an initial public offering or IPO for the IoT business next year. In May, BlackBerry said it was considering strategic options for its businesses. Last year, it also pulled the plug on its flagship smartphone business. Monthly US advertisement revenue at social media platform X declined every month since Elon Musk bought the platform last October. This is according to a report by an ad analytics firm called Guideline. X, formerly known as Twitter, has struggled to retain some advertisers as brands have been wary of rapid changes under Elon Musk's ownership. Other reports have pointed out that there has been an increase in hate speech on the platform since Musk took over. Spotify has said that its premium users will now have access to 15 hours of audiobooks per month. For now, this is only for its users in the UK and Australia. The feature will be expanded to the United States later this year. Last year, the launch of Spotify's audiobook service in the US challenged Amazon's Audible. The new plan could further hurt Amazon when it rolls out in the US. UK-based startup Odin Space has developed detectors that can track tiny pieces of space junk. With thousands of commercial satellites being launched, risks of collisions have gone higher. This British startup is aiming to tackle that. Odin Space has devised a lightweight detector system. This can identify pieces of junk as small as 0.1 or 0.1 millimeters. Moving to sports, let's start with the Asian Games. India's Neeraj Chopra bagged the gold in men's javelin throw yesterday. Neeraj Chopra recorded his best throw of this season at 88.88 meters. The silver was clinched by Chopra's compatriot Kishore Jena. Jena recorded a throw of 87.54 meters, which also let him qualify for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Japan's Roderick Genidine finished third to win the bronze. India finished first in the men's 4x400 meter relay race to clinch the gold. The Indian quartet of Anas Muhammad Yahya, Amod Jacob, Muhammad Ajmal Waryathodi and Rajesh Ramesh sealed the win. They finished the race with a timing of 3 minutes and 1.58 seconds. India beat South Korea 5-3 in men's hockey at the Asian Games. The match was a nail-biter with South Korea making a near comeback in the contest. India took the lead early in the 5th minute and then the men in blue netted 3 more. But South Korea fought back with 2 goals, making the score 4-2. In the second half, both sides scored a goal each, taking the final tally to 5-3. India will now play either China or Japan in the final on Friday. In football, FIFA has announced the hosts for the 2030 World Cup. For the first time ever, the matches will be held across 6 nations and 3 continents. Morocco, Spain and Portugal have been named as the co-hosts. Meanwhile, Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay will host the opening matches. The FIFA 2030 Football World Cup will mark 100 years of the beautiful game's biggest tournament. Newcastle United handed PSG a shock 4-1 defeat at the Champions League last night. The English club scored 2 goals in the first half to take the lead over PSG. In the second half, the Magpies scored again, taking the lead to 3-0. Then French giants PSG scored a goal but continued to trail by 2. During the second half injury time, Newcastle netted another goal to seal the win for 1. Manchester City beat RB Leipzig 3-1 in the Champions League last night. Phil Foden scored for Man City in the 25th minute. In the second half, Leipzig's Louis Openda scored the equalizer in the 48th. Julian Alvarez scored in the 84th minute to help the Sky Blues regain the lead. Jeremy Doku scored for Man City 2 minutes into second half injury time to secure the win. In tennis, Yannick Sinner won the China Open yesterday. Italy's Sinner beat Russia's Daniil Medvedev 7-6 and 7-6 in a hard-fought game. This was the 22-year-old Italian's first win over the Russian in their 7 head-to-head matchups. World number 2, Iga Swiatek continues with her domination at the China Open. Poland Swiatek beat her compatriot Magda Linette 6-1 and 6-1 in straight sets. Swiatek will now play the quarterfinal on Friday. Meanwhile, world number 3 Coco Gauff also advanced at the China Open. America's Gauff beat her Russian counterpart Veronika Kudermetova 7-6 and 6-2 in straight sets. Coco Gauff will next play in the quarterfinal on Friday. In MotoGP, Marc Marquez will part ways with Honda after the end of this season. The Spanish rider and Honda have agreed to end their partnership 1 year early by mutual agreement. 30-year-old Marquez has spent 11 seasons with Honda and won 6 world titles for them. In entertainment news, the Hollywood Actors Union and Producers Union have announced their negotiations are ongoing, the fact that the negotiations are ongoing. The union members held a meeting on Wednesday and they will now meet on Friday. The meeting's venue was changed to Los Angeles after the Actors Union made the request. English actor Julia Ormond has filed a case against disgraced Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein over sexual assault. Ormond accused Weinstein of sexually assaulting her during a business meeting in the year 1995. She has also sued the Walt Disney and Miramax for being the enablers of sexual assault. In an interview, Ormond said that she wants to make Hollywood a safer workplace. American actor Johnny Depp's upcoming animated film has sealed a global distribution deal. The movie is called Johnny Puff: Secret Mission. It is slated to release in 2024. The film will reportedly release in South Korea, Germany, Spain and West Asia. Depp's character goes on a secret mission to save his village from intruders. The film is a spin-off of the mini TV series Puffins that released in the year 2020. American actor Kevin Spacey was rushed to hospital after he suffered a health scare in Uzbekistan. The actor was in Uzbekistan for the Tashkent International Film Festival. During his speech, Spacey felt his left arm going numb, mistaking it for a heart attack. The actor later confirmed that he is doing fine. American actress Kerry Washington recently said that she felt the pressure to be thin as her counterparts in the 90s. While speaking about body image issues, Washington opened up about stereotypes she had to face. She recalled getting messages from Hollywood stating thin being better. Kerry Washington has previously spoken about her struggle with eating disorders. Pop singer Ed Sheeran has disclosed his unconventional end-of-life plans. The singer has claimed to have dug a hole in his estate for his burial. Ed Sheeran refers to that place as a chapel for his friends to mourn. His concern stems from the death of friends, leaving their loved ones unsure about their final wishes. American singer Ariana Grande is reportedly sharing a residence with actor Ethan Slater. The new couple is said to be residing in New York City. A source has also revealed that Slater has informed all his friends about this significant step. Sparks began to fly between them nearly a year ago during their time working on the production of Wicked. French striker Carla Bruni took to Instagram to share about her battle with breast cancer. Bruni revealed that she was diagnosed 4 years ago and had to go through radiation and chemotherapy. The singer called herself lucky, stating that the nature of her cancer was not aggressive as it was caught at an early stage. Carla Bruni also urged women to get regular health checkups done. K-pop band BTS's member Jungkook recently revealed that he has been starving himself to maintain weight standards. The singer spoke about skipping meals and being on IV drips for nutrition. Jungkook is preparing for the release of his upcoming album called Golden. Such extreme diets can lead to health complications. And finally, the Golden Globe Awards recently announced that it has become more ethnically diverse. This announcement comes after criticism that the awards lacked diversity. The award show now has 300 journalists as its voting members. The new members are from countries including Guatemala, Costa Rica and Cameroon. 47% of panelists are women. Out of this, 60% voting members are racially and ethnically diverse.